Hello everyone, welcome back to the Real Queen Nefertiti 33 channel. I am Tatiana. I'm here with some more articles for us all for March the 19th, 2025. Don't get it twisted. The articles come to pass, okay? So let's begin. We'll be learning about the apocalyptic record. It's basically like what y'all see on TV, movies, songs, cartoons, shows, etc. Okay? It's coming to pass. Everything you ever seen on TV in your life is coming to pass. Yes, okay? Coming to pass. Okay? That's what it means. So let's begin. The apocalyptic record also refers to a collection of in-character accounts, reports, songs, and tales from the guru werewolves and the werewolf. The apocalypse role-playing game covering stories of grief, joy, battle, peace, and the apocalypse itself. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Context: the Apocalypse record is a supplement of the werewolf. The Apocalypse role-playing game, a game where players take on the roles of werewolves guru fighting against both the spiritual desolation of urban civilization and supernatural forces of corruption. Contents: the book features a collection of stories told from the perspective of Guru, covering various events and experiences, including tales of war against the realm, a force of corruption. Stories of the Umbra, the spirit world, kinfolk, humans who are connected to the Guru, and tribes that have been lost. Purpose: the Apocalyptic record aims to provide players with a deeper understanding of the Guru nation, their struggles, and their role in the impending apocalypse. It offers a diverse range of perspectives and stories, showcasing both the trumpets and tragedies of the Guru. Onyx Path Publishing. The Apocalypse record was published by the Onyx Path Publishing, a company known for its work on werewolf, the apocalypse, and other white wolf-related products. So, to me. Example: the book includes tales of great deeds, humble acts, disastrous events, and glorious victories, all narrated by Guru of various ages and backgrounds. You ain't lying. But I keep it to myself, though. So let's begin. In the apocalypse record, this is the article recording the apocalypse with Path Publishing. In the apocalypse record, young and old Guru alike deliver tales of great, humble, disastrous, and glorious deeds. They run the gamut from tales of war and the womb to stories of the Umbra, kinfolk, and tribes long lost. Path Publishing had launched a Kickstarter for a deluxe edition of the Apocalypse record, a settling supplement and source book for Werewolf. The Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition, we had a chance to discuss this project with the co-developer Matthew Darwin and Leith Shields. What were some of your favorite inspirations for a popular record? Becky's Jahan Diary is one of mine. In terms of style and intention, from a werewolf standpoint, I always enjoy the impressive nature of the forthcoming apocalypse. How at times it feels hopeless to fight it, at other times all you have in werewolf is the fight to slow or prevent it. The entire werewolf meta plot spread across his many books inspired me to co-develop this one. The Prophecy of the Phoenix is a big one for me, running all the way back to Werewolf, the Apocalypse 2nd edition. Here's this overarching prophecy that all Guru know, with signs of the end times, and like all good mythic prophecies, it seems clear and specific, but is really quite vague and open to interpretation. Various signs were more or less true depending on the person considering them, and they got me thinking about the idea of cynical apocalypses and the number of times the signs rose and fall, and how the Guru could never be sure if the signs they saw this time was the apocalypse or just another prelude to an apocalypse. Think about the first sign of the apocalypse, the decimation of kin, and think about how this must have appeared to the various Indonesian tribes of North America and Australia over the centuries. Similarly, the fourth sign is the children of humans falling against each other. Unfortunately, wars between human nations aren't exactly rare in our history, are they? What was the research and pitch process like for this book. I recall discussing with Rich Thomas the possibility of making a werewolf book akin to Becky Jahar Diary, where we could round off the murder plot built up over the last 30 years ahead of the release of a new edition. I sold it as a massive thank you to the longtime fans of Werewolf who will recognize in this book characters, events, and powers they may have played, interacted with, or used in their chronicles over the last 3 decades. In terms of research, our amazing team of writers were each assigned sessions to write on their respective auspicious chapters, and the storyteller's meta plot chapter 2, and giving advice on the books they need to refer to make their chapter pop. An example, the R1 writers often refer to books such as Rage Across the Amazon, while the Raggy Bitch writes her books like the Book of Rum and the Pentex Employee and Document Handbook to refer to. We agree that having a single chronicle didn't suit the Gowu Nation like it did Vampire Society, that Gowu was an oral tradition with many viewpoints and voices. It was in the discussion that was settled on a guiding point for the writers, no objective truths. That is to say, characters have their views and opinions, all of which are subjective, and all of which have degrees of value, or all of which are their truths. Gay isn't going to appear and tell a character that they are wrong. We both know that the auspicious were key to how we divide the book into characters. The Gowu have so many different tribes, sects, and ideas that they keep coming back to auspice defining roles, or defining what roles an individual rebel against. From there, we figure out the subjects that made sense for each auspice and what we wanted to write to covers without telling them who or what had to tell the stories covering these topics. How loose were the Apocalypse records for previous editors of the Werewolf the Apocalypse? Very much so. I would hope this book expands existing meta plot seeds laid down in previous editions, revisit old places and names from way back when, and give real depth to plots we may not have looked up in 30 years. There are elements from books like Rage Across Apocalypse and Rage Across New York, here as well as characters from the Friday book for Werewolf. There's a lot to find and lose in this book for storytellers and players alike. The Apocalypse record is full of story hooks and campaign ideas. It gives so many start points to games or events and characters to drop into ongoing campaigns, regardless of edition. Chapter 6 also looks over nearly 30 years of books and plots. That is across all editions, and pulls out key elements from each one for players and storytellers to dig their claws into. I've been a fan of Werewolf of the Apocalypse since the core book of its first edition, and I find that chapter to be an invaluable resource. There's been so many written about the Gowu that I admit I haven't remembered all the units that the writer pulled together for the chapter. Okay. Last one, the Apocalypse record makes the connection that the ritual of sacred rebirth is a corrupted version of the Gumran rite of spirit skin blessing. True people done told me that. They like, why are you showing us, why are you telling us this? You making this shit come to pass. But I mean, hey, some of this shit done already happened to people though. Besides me. I mean, I am the first one. But besides me, to be honest, I never really showed nobody. I never told none of y'all this, okay? Only me, my family watched this. Then they said, well, that's why, because y'all watching it. And I'm like, well, you could be right. Write of spirit, skin, and blessing, since the actors will know how to enact a vengeful act like that due to their role as a matchmaker. Whew. And I'm good at what I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to do it, okay? You hear me? What is the meaning of apocalypse story? Apocalypse literature genre that foretells supernaturally inspired cataclysmic events that will transpire at the end of the world. See? Where the main theme of apocalypse, one type of extent to the genre apocalypse with themes include the idea of revelation and narratives about the reception of revelation through dreams, visions, hearing voices, or taking journeys to heaven and other normally inaccessible places. With the example Apocalypse, the novel Outbreak in World War Z, or the movie Contagion, are good examples. In almost all apocalypse stories, life is threatened on a global scale: disease, natural disaster, war, or alien invasion. What the meaning of the apocalypse experience? Showing or describing the total destruction and end of the world or extremely bad future events. Apocalypse vision of a nuclear confrontation. What the apocalypse prophecy actively portrays a literal divine recreation on his way, which recapitulates and extends God's primordial work. Apocalypse prophecies tend to be unconditional, God sharing the large stroke of history that he foresees to take place, regardless of human response. You ain't lying. Okay. Period. Well, the four aspects of the apocalypse: death, famine, war, and conquest. Okay. Do Christians believe in the apocalypse? Many Christians believe that the world as we know it will come to an end in the apocalypse. In Christianity, it is used to refer to God's final and complete destruction of the world. And last one, well, the apocalypse mindset. Apocalypticism is a religious belief that the end of the world is imminent even within one's own lifetime. This belief is usually accompanied by the idea that civilization will soon come to a terminus and due to some sort of catastrophic global event, which is happening now. Okay, so yes, hopefully I enjoy.